3. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. Today is the 25th of March, almost the end of March. Clocks go back next Sunday for those of you in Europe, and we are back 11 a.m. as always on this beautiful Monday morning. We have a busy day. We have 2 days worth of news to catch up on from over the weekend. We're going to go through all of it, hopefully within an hour. A big good morning to Kishan, to Mags, Hidden Agendas, Tariq. I hope you're all having a lovely morning. We've got a lot to go through. Remember, we stream 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday at 11 a.m. Central European time. So the biggest way everybody watching can help us out is by smashing the like button and giving us a follow. That's how you can help us out and help us grow. Bottom left-hand corner, 111,271. We are growing about 3,000 to 4,000 fans a week. So hopefully by the end of the year, 200,000 fans. Bottom right-hand corner, you will see my $74,000 target for Bitcoin. That's not going to go anywhere until we hit it. I do think it's going to be sooner rather than later. Remember, D-Day is 26 days away. It's less than 4 weeks from the halving. It's a little bit like you're sitting there in the church and you're waiting for the bride, and the bride is Bitcoin, and you're just waiting for the bride to walk up the aisle. We've got less than 4 weeks to go before Bitcoin marries and the halving starts, and that will be 450 Bitcoin a day as opposed to 900 Bitcoin a day. It's a huge event, probably the last big one that Bitcoin is ever going to see, because in 4 years' time, going from 450 to 225 really isn't going to be neither here nor there. So what we're going to go through today, first of all, we've got the markets and X-Files. Then we're going to look at gold. Is it finished as a store of value? What happens if Ethereum ETFs are rejected? Is Matic going to pump? Floki is now on some of the major exchanges. Is it time to look at Floki? We've covered Floki. I think we covered Floki last summer in a video. So we'll have a look at that. We'll probably have a look at the Floki chart as well. The EU's new laws on self-custodial wallets. We're going to talk about that. And then final thoughts. All of that in 1 hour. 1 hour of your day. Hopefully all of the most important crypto news you will see in a day. So let's begin. First of all, the markets. Market cap is up just a touch, 2.54 trillion. Volume, again, it's the weekend, but we did dip below 100 billion for the first time in probably quite a few days. I think last Monday we were over 100 billion. Dominance, again, 51.6. That's going to go up. You know, Ben Cowan wants 95% Bitcoin dominance, 90% Bitcoin dominance. I think he has a fetish about Bitcoin. There's not a lot we can do to save him. I think he's lost. I think we will head north of 55, hopefully maybe topping out about 58% Bitcoin dominance in this run. ETH dominance 16.2, that has faded. That was up over 20% 5 months ago. So ETH dominance is on the way down. Bitcoin coming in above 67,000, ETH above $3,400. And Brogan's favorite part of the show, what are the gainers? Well, Dog with Hat is up 27%. Now, this is a huge move for ICP. Now, I don't know if you remember, we covered ICP on Friday, I believe, and we did indeed suggest that potentially ICP could move up because it has been a little bit range-bound for a while. A 25% move in 24 hours for something with a market cap of 6 or 8 billion is quite a big move. So that's up significantly. Ondo is up near, Gala is up, Quant is up. I remember when Quant was down towards $70. One of my favorite unsexy projects, Quant, go and have a look at it. Only got a circulating supply of 12 million. Go and have a look at the chart. I think I've made a video about Quant about 9 months ago. Go and check that video out. The core information in that video is still relevant today. It's only going to get bigger and better. Lido is up. Jupiter is up 131. Remember, my target for Jupiter is $1.50 to $2. I've been saying that since it was 55 cents. Has retraced has retraced from $1.50, but we're going to see the second round of voting any week now, probably this week, end of this week or beginning of next week. That should push it back over 150 towards 160. EOS is up. Funnily enough, made a video about this token last week. Video is doing very well. Go and check out that video. Beam is up, and Solana woke up and chose pumping $190 for Solana. Losers then. Not many. Normally a good sign when we don't see many losers. Stacks is down a touch. Ronin, not really many losers this week as far as I can see. So let's move on to some X-Files. And remember, this is a two-way stream. I am not a pre-recording. I am actually here. So if you want to say hello in chat and I will give you a shout out. Let's move on with some X-Files then. When it decides to work. So plan B, if you want to follow somebody who has a specific strategy for Bitcoin, go and follow plan B. Every halving period, 210,000 blocks, roughly 4 years, there is a bull market in which Bitcoin price pumps. This is not a bubble. You will hear the term mainly from TradFi and politicians saying that Bitcoin is in a bubble. For those of you that weren't here, Bitcoin was in a bubble at $65 and $55 and $45,000 in the last bull run. Bitcoin was in a bubble at $9, $10, and $12,000 in the bull run before that. They like to call things bubbles because that gives you an image in your head of the bubble popping. Then, when the bear market comes and the price comes down, they can turn around and say, see, we told you Bitcoin wasn't worth investing in. Don't go near Bitcoin because Bitcoin is going to go to zero. It's the same every cycle. Bitcoin has died 67 times in the last 4 years, and it never has. It follows a 4-year cycle. 4-year cycle. And that cycle is tied in to the halving. You can see the lines on the charts. These moves up, move to the right, move up, move to the right, move up, move to the right. It's the same cycle every 4 years. So don't listen to these people telling you that it's a bubble. The price is volatile. I'll agree with them on that. But it's not a bubble. A bubble is where something can crash and take 10, 20 years to recover. If you look at what happened in 2008, which was one of the reasons that Bitcoin was created, we really haven't recovered from 2008 stock market crash. We look like we've recovered because so much additional money has been pumped into the markets to make it look like we've recovered. But if you take that additional money out, we are still at the same prices for stocks than we were 16 years ago. If you don't believe me, go and do your own research. I'm not making this up. Solana, DEXs, decentralized exchanges, volume exceeds $50 billion for the month. The growth, 12.6%, volume up from the last month. It was 28.62 billion. Now, I don't want to sound like a Sol Maxi. I'm not. I try and follow the news. If the news was about Ethereum, or the news was about Matic, or the news was about Arbitrum, I would follow the news. Very simply put, Solana is now starting to challenge Ethereum on a greater scale than I ever imagined. And I have mentioned it. Solana had got surely. And I am not saying for 1 minute that in this bull run, Solana is going to overtake Ethereum. Because as I said on the show last Friday, I think Ethereum is going to be the blockchain of choice for institutional platforms. And I think Solana will be with all of the cool stuff. I think Ethereum will end up with all of the serious stuff. And the serious stuff has more money attached to it. Look at BlackRock. BlackRock have started their tokenized fund on Ethereum. Solana goes down from time to time. It's too big a risk for somebody like BlackRock to stake their reputation on. So that's why you're going to see this kind of divergence potentially over the next 3 or 4 years where Ethereum becomes a corporate entity and Solana remains the blockchain of the people, if you like. Moving on. Now, we've talked about Chairman Powell sticking to his interest rate plan, which is 3 over the course of the year. Now, Chairman Powell needs a get out. He needs an excuse to cut interest rates. He needs to make it look like it's not his decision. because in my opinion, he would keep interest rates high for the rest of the year, simply to absolutely 100% ensure that inflation doesn't come back. However, he's going to get all the pressure from all the angles in the next 2 months, and that's when he's going to start cutting interest rates, and it's already begun. So Powell is told the Fed's policies has a stranglehold on farmers. The interest rate hikes, along with price and labour market pressures, are affecting Americans. High interest rates, together with instability in commodity prices, has a stranglehold on the American agriculturalist right now, which leads to a stranglehold on all of rural America. So we are seeing one of the biggest groups in America come together and basically tell Powell he's got to cut rates. It's a problem because the cost of borrowing is so high for farmers. The cost of goods is so high for farmers. That's being passed on to people who go and buy burgers, people who go and buy steak. You look at the food inflation in America, it's quite high. And these farmers have held off for a year now, trying to not pass off that extra cost to the supermarkets, but they can't do it forever. Once these interest rates start to come down, farmers will have more money, labour, borrowing, cost of goods will come down, and that will have a knock-on effect on the markets. What you've got to understand is that demand goes up when people have more money, yes, but supply costs less when there are low interest rates. So there is a balance between reducing interest rates so goods cost less and not giving people so much more money that they decide to buy 5 steaks a week, not 3. So there is a balancing act for Powell, which everybody understands, but there comes a point where Powell has to bow to political pressure, and I think with the farmers turning around and saying enough is enough, I think that's going to be enough for potentially a June rate cut, in my opinion. Now, this guy, I am not a huge fan of him whatsoever, but most of you will know him. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He's a celebrity, I imagine. He has said that he is going to be buying Bitcoin because Bitcoin is going to be $100,000 by September. Now, I have no idea how he knows this. Before we begin, no idea how he believes this is going to happen, because some of the bigger crypto influencers are certainly predicting $80,000, even, some tempered predictions of maybe $80,000, $90,000 just after the halving. He's going straight for 100,000 by September. Why September? I don't know. But he's buying Bitcoin. Or the other way to look at it is he's already bought his Bitcoin and he's telling you to buy Bitcoin so his Bitcoin value goes up. I don't want to be cynical, but that's what it sounds like to me. He's predicting a target. The longer we go in this bull run, the more crazy people are going to come out and tell you the price of Bitcoin. You're going to start to see people who have no real knowledge of Bitcoin, like Paris Hilton. We're going to see a $500,000 Bitcoin, or you will see politicians, ex-politicians saying Bitcoin's always been the future, it's going to go to $1 million. You're going to see that because in the last bull run, we had every Tom, Dick and Harry. We had American footballers, we had Shaquille O'Neal, we had cyclists, we had all these people telling you to go and buy Bitcoin because it was going to go to the moon. And they predicted the top, because if you'd have bought when they were telling you to buy Bitcoin, you'd have bought a $65,000 Bitcoin. So great for him. He thinks it's going to $100,000. If he's right, absolutely fantastic. Congratulations on getting that one right. For me, I am not going to predict $100,000 by the end of the year, because that's a wild prediction. There's a lot of nights to go before we get to $100,000 Bitcoin, in my humble opinion. Now, we're going to move on. I believe we're going to look at the Bitcoin chart next. So gold won't keep up with crypto's expected 2 to 3x of market cap in coming years, according to analyst Jamie Coutts. Now, just to put this into context, this is one thing I do say all the time about other cryptos. It's easy for your meme coin to go from $100 million to $1 million and do a 10x. Sorry, $100 million to $1 billion. So that's a 10x. That's easy to do. because that's adding $900 million. That's a 10x, fine. For Bitcoin to copy your move on your meme coin, it would have to add almost $9 trillion to its market cap. Now, the Bitcoin market cap is way less than gold's market cap. So it's easy for these experts to make these predictions. You know, it would be easy for me to say, BOEM is going to outperform Bitcoin 100x over the bull run because BOEM has such a low market cap compared to Bitcoin. It's easy for me to say that. It's harder for me to tell you which 4 coins are going to perform the best in the bull run, because that is finger in the air, which way's the wind blowing type of move. We can have an educated guess, yes, but these kind of predictions that they're making are stating the obvious, in my humble opinion. Gold will vastly underperform digital assets in the current market cycle. Totally agree with him. He's bullish on gold. He expects crypto to dramatically outshine the precious metal as markets make way for a birth of the new asset class. Now, the one argument I would have about this is that gold will not decrease in value to the same extent that Bitcoin will decrease in value in the next bear market. That's the other angle on this. Gold will not drop 40% in value, whereas Bitcoin very well may drop 40% in value. If we end up with a $200,000 Bitcoin at the end of this cycle, then could that bring Bitcoin down to $120,000, $130,000 in the bear market? Very possibly. Could we see a sub $100,000? Very possibly. Is gold going to lose half of its value over that period of time? Probably not. So gold is a more stable asset than Bitcoin. That's another angle to look at this. So I am bullish on gold, but it won't match the 2 to 3x that crypto should do this cycle. This is the birth of a new asset class. He compares Bitcoin and crypto now to the stock market boom of the early 1980s. Millennials were likely to be able to outperform inflation with crypto the same way that baby boomers did with their equities investments over the last 40 years. 2009 is to millennials what 1982 is to boomers. The great secular bull market in equities started as boomers fully entered the workforce. The great secular bull market in Bitcoin launched as millennials entered the workforce at a time when governments and the boomer generation they represented decided to punish all subsequent generations for their own sins. So we've had the great financial crisis, we've had property prices going through the roof pretty much across America and most of Western Europe. Bitcoin is the antidote, custom built for the era of debasement and debt, a new form of hard money synthesized with tech. Totally agree with him. Now, I do agree that Bitcoin is something that you should have in your portfolio. But as always, one thing I say to you is, don't put your life savings into one thing, and it doesn't matter what that one thing is. Don't put your life savings into Bitcoin. Don't put your life savings into property or the stock market or equities, bonds. Diversify. You know, your portfolio should be made up of different things if you can afford to do it at this moment in time. If you can afford to own your own house, that's your property taken care of. If you can afford to own some gold and some bonds, by all means do that. And some stocks and shares, maybe tech stocks and shares, by all means have that. But Bitcoin, if you've got $100,000 or even if you've got $10,000 portfolio, it shouldn't be all in Bitcoin down to the last penny. There is always a chance that something will correct badly based on all kinds of things, based on black swans that we just don't see coming. Nobody predicted the 2008 stock market crash apart from the ones that made the great films and documentaries about it. But 99.999% of people didn't see it coming because they were all trapped into this groupthink that the stock market will go on forever and go on forever and it will never crash. And that's not the case. So Bitcoin is this generation's version of the stock market back in the 80s. I do agree with that. Now, let's have a quick look at the Bitcoin chart before we move on. Let's see where we are. We have to update the bull market support band. which we haven't done. So we're going to do it now. Let's make these a wee bit smaller. Go to the daily. There it is. So we can now move it up. So just for clarity, the bull market support band last week was about $49,500. This week, the top of it comes in at $51,000. So, as I keep saying, the Bitcoin price is the average Bitcoin price. This is a trailing average, really. We've now come up and we're at the level we were at here, which was last week of February, I suppose you could call it. Now, Bitcoin itself, after topping out at 73.8, and remember my target was 74, so we didn't quite hit it. But we've had this kind of downward trend for a few days, ever since 15th of March. So it's only really been, what's that, 10 days. And we haven't broken out of this downward trend, except we appear to have done now. We appear to have come out a little bit. If we zoom in, let's get rid of my terrible drawing. Terrible drawing. Give me a second. There we go. So we appear to have broken out of this downward trend. Move up for me now would be 68.2. That would be the line to get up towards. That's previous price action. Up from there, you'd be looking at about 69.5. Then you're back at 71. So we've got a long way to go. But as I said, the headline of the show, or I haven't said today, actually, the headline of the show today is big week ahead. Why is it a big week ahead? This downward pressure on Bitcoin has been caused by the sale of Grayscale. Now, there's a couple of things that lend towards this. When we were pumping, the weekends were a time for the market to retrace slightly. This weekend was different. And I don't know if many of you noticed, but this weekend, we were down at 65. We finished the day, we started Saturday at about 64,000. And we spent 2 days moving up. So the pressure, the sell pressure on Bitcoin isn't coming from us, isn't coming from retail. It's coming from Grayscale. Now, Grayscale has been selling off for 5 or 6 consecutive days, working days, Monday to Friday. And that sell pressure has caused this kind of downward spiral in the Bitcoin price. And the reason it's a big week ahead is I cannot believe for 1 minute that we're going to get 5 more days of sell pressure on Grayscale. I just can't see it. I cannot see it happening. So if that's the case and we haven't got the sell pressure, then we're going to start pushing up again. And, you know, we've had this kind of horrible downward action. But at some point, are we going to do that? And then are we going to do that? So I think this week is a big week simply because maybe today and tomorrow we see a neutral buy and sell. Maybe they negate each other this week. But I think by the end of this week, it's going to be done. I think we should be pushing back towards 70,000. If there's more sell pressure on Grayscale from another direction, fine. But the other thing to bear in mind, as I've mentioned a couple of times now, is Grayscale are going to cut their fees. Sell pressure, a lot of the sell pressure has come from people selling Grayscale because the fees are a lot higher than BlackRock and VanEck and other people. So they're selling Grayscale to buy different ETFs. And that's another big area where it can be improved. So if Grayscale slash their fees this week, if the selling pressure from Genesis and other people stop, then expect us to start moving up again, because this downward action, it's not nice for anybody. I know people want to be sitting on the beach drinking cocktails and smoking cigars, but we're not quite there just yet. So big week ahead for Bitcoin. I do expect us to move up this week. I don't expect us to sit here and look at our navels for the rest of the week. Now, Ethereum. This is a question that I have asked on this stream before. And that question is, what happens when the SEC rejects the Ethereum applications in May? Look at what's happened. They've been delayed till May, but the SEC has already reached out to multiple players in the market asking questions about Ethereum. So how is this going to play out? I think the SEC is going to take the Ethereum Foundation to court. And because they're going to take them to court, they will turn around and say, I'm very sorry. I know you all want this lovely Ethereum ETF, and it's nice and shiny, and it'll look really nice on your mantelpiece with the Bitcoin ETF, but we're currently at court. We're currently going through procedures with them, so we're not going to let you have it now. So can you all go away and come back in a year's time? And I think they're going to sue the Ethereum Trust. That is going to delay for a year minimum, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. That's my slant. I've been saying it all along. All these people saying we're 95% certain of getting it in May. And I've been saying all along, apples are not pears. And most people are now on this page. If you don't believe me, go back and look at previous streams. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The SEC are going to go after Ethereum. It's not proof of work anymore, which opens it up to securities, because these coins, these tokens are not mined. I think the SEC, have given up on Bitcoin. I think they just admit they'd lose, and there's nobody to go after. There's no head of the Bitcoin. There's no Bitcoin Trust or Bitcoin Foundation to go after, so they can't go after a Bitcoin. They're going to go after Ethereum. And the question is, what is going to happen when it is rejected in May? And I don't think it's going to do Ethereum any favors at all. I think Ethereum is... The problem with the SEC and their strategy is you don't know how long a court case is going to last for. The court case could go on for 2 years. Look at XRP. The price has been suppressed for 2.5 years now. XRP won the majority of the case. Price still isn't appreciating at the value it should, because there's still the overhang of the fine. Are we going to see the SEC suing the Ethereum Foundation for 2 years, taking it past the bull market into the bear market in 2026? Are we going to see that? I don't know the answer to that, by the way, and I'm probably not going to sell my Ethereum at this moment in time anyway. I'm not going to front run this. The issue is, it's not going to happen, in my opinion, for a year or so. And the price of Ethereum has been going up based on an ETF application being approved. If it's not approved, what happens to the price? That's the question. Now let's see what Crypto Potato have got to say. If the SEC rejects all spot Ethereum ETF applications, the impact on ETH's price might not be as significant as initially anticipated. Analysts and experts suggest that whether the ETFs are approved or rejected, it may not have a substantial effect on the price in the short term. Don't know about that. This theory could have some merit, given that the BTC ETF rejections in the last 10 years, Bitcoin became immune to the SEC's actions. No, I don't agree with that at all. We're in a situation where we know the effect of an ETF on the price. We've seen, look at the price of Bitcoin. We've gone from $15,000 to $67,000. We've 4x'd on the biggest asset. From the bottom of the bear market till today, we've 4x'd. And a lot of that has been to do with the ETF and the fresh money coming in. So don't think for 1 minute that this ETF, the Ethereum ETF being rejected, isn't going to affect the price. Once the commission greenlighted all Bitcoin ETFs, the underlying asset price went on a massive roller coaster in the next few weeks. Once the demand and inflows increased, so did Bitcoin's price. Now, I don't believe this isn't going to affect the Ethereum price. I think when they're rejected, I don't think that will dramatically affect the price. When they are sued, it will dramatically affect the price. I think they're going to get rejected in May based on the SEC taking them to court. The SEC have got 2 months really, almost 2 months to open legal proceedings against the Ethereum Foundation. And that's plenty of time for them to issue it. Now, it wouldn't surprise me, because Gary Gensler is one of those characters where what they do is they will wait until 2 days or 3 days before the ETF decisions need to be made before issuing legal proceedings against the Ethereum Foundation. Because that will be the double whammy of rejection of the ETFs and the court case. And that is going to impact on the price. Maybe it's not going to bring the price down to $1,000 or $900. I get that. But it is going to dent the price, in my opinion. That reminds me, I've not had chat on for all stream. 1 second. Good morning, Mohammed. Good morning, Solo Sky. I can now see your messages. I have turned the chat on. Good morning, Zach. Welcome to the stream. Remember, say hello wherever you are. We will give you a shout out. So for me, the price of Ethereum will come down. We're not going to look at the Ethereum chart. We looked at it on Friday. I think the price will come down. It's difficult to say what it will come down to because we don't know what the price is going to be when it's rejected. If we follow the same trajectory, Ethereum is going to be over $4,000 by the halving, potentially. That's only a, what's that? That's a 15% increase from where we are now. That's very achievable. Could we retrace below 3,000? That would be a big move. That'd be a 25% move in the bull market. I don't know. If it coincided with the Bitcoin post-halving correction, maybe. But I mean, again, it's one of those things with the Ethereum price. You don't know what the price is going to be on the halving for Bitcoin or Ethereum to know when to sell to catch the dip. So if you thought to yourself, right, I'm going to sell now because I know Bitcoin is going to drop after the halving, you know, buy the rumor, sell the news. So we get to the halving, 20th of April, and Bitcoin's at $80,000 and it corrects 15%. So it goes from 80 to 68,000. And you're selling your Bitcoin today at 67,000 to catch the dip. But you actually catch a higher value Bitcoin than you have today. So my argument is, a lot of the time, especially with people who don't look at the charts every day, why are you selling Bitcoin to try and catch a dip when you've accumulated it for the last 2 years and you know that potentially, based on history, the all-time high is going to be in about 18 months' time, 16 months' time. So timing a dip is great, but remember, there's people waiting for Bitcoin to hit $20,000. There's people waiting for a $10,000 Bitcoin. Gareth Soloway has been shorting Bitcoin since $45,000. So trying to time these dips is never going to do you any favors. And Ethereum could go to $5,000 and then come back to $3,800 when it gets rejected. And you've sold today at $3,400 because you think that the price is going to drop. We don't know what the price is going to drop from or drop to. We know that over time, Ethereum is going to go up in value. We know that Bitcoin is going to go up in value. Ethereum is a deflationary asset now because of the changes that have been made. It's deflationary, only 0.5% a year, but still deflationary. Bitcoin has a finite supply. Bitcoin has more demand than supply. Bitcoin's price will go up. Over time, these assets go up. Buying at the high of this bull cycle, you are going to have to wait a while for it to get back to those prices, maybe 4 or 5 years. But if you're holding Bitcoin, knowing it's going to go to 100, 200, 300,000, don't try and make a $1,000 gain when you could miss it. If you sell your Bitcoin today, and this isn't financial advice, by the way, if you sell your Bitcoin today on the proviso that there's a massive crash after the halving, you could be in a great position because Bitcoin could come down to $55,000. Then you're up. Great. But if that doesn't transpire and it goes from 85 to 65, you haven't really gained anything. So just be careful trying to time these moves because I'm sitting on my Bitcoin. I am not going to move any of my Bitcoin. I'm not going to sell any of my Bitcoin. It's staying put until the end of next year. That's how I'm playing it. Maybe not. It's not the case with alts. You know, if one of my alts does a 10x, I am going to sell half of it because that's the right thing to do. But not with Bitcoin at this moment in time. Now, Matic. Again, I pointed out Matic at the end of last year because it didn't move. Bitcoin is going to $100,000 and even better. Yep, eventually it will. Thanks, Zach, for your comments. Right, so I'm not, again, you got to bear in mind, I didn't write this, and I'm certainly not predicting $15 for Matic. And the reason I'm not predicting these targets is some of them, for me, are overly optimistic. And let's have a quick look. What are we? 67,250. We're not having a bad start to the day. Let's hope we don't open in 3 hours with a crash. Right, Matic is $1. Right, so for Matic to get to $15, it would give it a market cap of 150 billion. Now, that isn't wholly unrealistic. Let me put that out there. But I have tempered expectations of these coins. And Matic is one of those coins I tell you about that doesn't really move a great deal over a very long period of time. It does move, like Cardano and other coins like that. It does move, but very slowly. BNB is another example. It moves very slowly, and then it just absolutely shunts. So a $15 target for me is a little bit unrealistic. I think I'd be very happy with a $5 to $8 Matic, because that's a good 5 to 8x from here. Now, yes, it could very well 10 or 15x, but I'm not going to fill your head with unrealistic expectations, because some coins are going to 15 or 20x from this bracket. Some coins are. Maybe ICP, maybe near. One of them, two of them is going to 20x. Not all of them. Tron may very not 20x. Chainlink, I've got a target of $100. We're at $19 for Chainlink. That's a 5x. That's a good return from where it was. So my issue is not everything is going to 15 to 20x from here, from this bracket. From the 10 to 20 range or 21 range, not everything is going to 20x. Some of them will, some of them won't. If I had a crystal ball and I knew what was going to do what, believe you me, I would have my bags packed. I can only make educated guesses, as do all of these other people out there. They're only educated guesses. So, Matic to $15, $1.20 price level critical for Matic. Price surge, analyst says. So, Crypto Patel presented a bullish case for Matic, and despite the current downtrend, naming the forecast the Matic Bull Run roadmap. I do love people who assign titles to things. So, Matic is forming a bullish pennant. 2021 bull run did 100x in the last bull market. Again, you can't do that. You cannot say it did 100x because it went from 3 cents to $3. So it's not going to go from $1 to $100. So you can't use the previous bull run as a example of what's going to happen. History rhymes, it doesn't repeat. If Matic does break the $1.20 level, then the target is $10 to $15. Bullish on Polygon in the long run. If it's a market crash, then he's probably drawn a sad picture. With a focus on short-term targets, Crypto Patel has stated that Matic reaching $1 could trigger a surge to a range of $10 to $15, represented a potential 1,500% gain on the asset's current price. Albeit in the event of an unexpected crash, he predicts 60 to 70 cents. Again, 60 to 70 cents is, in the defense of Matic, that has been the range it's been in for a substantial amount of time. If we go back to it. There we go. Okay, so we have... Why are we on the 1 hour? There we go. That's better. So Matic, again, our line in the sand here, believe it or not, is $1.25. So we are not a million miles away from Crypto Patel. And what we have seen is we've seen this line broken this level, but look what we've done. We've just bounced off the bull market support band. So what do we think is going to happen now? We think it will retake this at 115, try and retake 125, then the next target up for me would be probably 130. So Matic's in a good position, and if we go back, you'll see all this area down here. This was the time to buy Matic. This was 50 cents up towards 70 cents. Around that figure, that was the best time to buy Matic. It broke out, it broke above the bull market support band. It's been bouncing very nicely, and then it's had one final bounce, and I think it's going to move to the upside. But I am always going to be bullish on Matic, because Matic for me is a great project. And remember, I say it a lot, you should be buying tokens based on the project, not simply because some guy who you listen to on the internet tells you it's a good coin to buy. The reasons I like Matic are going to be different to the reasons that other people like Matic, and why people like Sol. I have my personal reasons for liking Matic. I think it is head and shoulders above everything else as a layer 2 at this moment in time. That's what I think. I think very similar to Chainlink, and I've had this conversation with you last week. Chainlink dominates the Oracle market, in my opinion. Matic dominates the layer 2 market on Ethereum. And not only does it dominate it, it's created the AG layer, which is shared liquidity, but sovereign independence of each chain. That's why it dominates the market. And most people out there have never heard of the AG layer, and I understand that. I've mentioned it a couple of times, and it is new. And it is pooling together all of the different chains that want to combine with it. So for me, be very, very wary of chasing the latest layer 2s, because they have potential, absolutely, but I don't care about potential at this moment of the bull market. I care about deliverables. I care about what are the best coins to hold now. They've spent 2 years building what's come out the other end with the best potential to grow. And I've told you time and time again what's in the different charts. I've got Bitcoin, I've got Ethereum, I've got Solana. Solana's come out of a terrible time. Chainlink is now starting to deliver on its revenue models. Polygon spent 2 years building. I can defend every coin in my portfolio. If you can't do the same, you need to look at your portfolio and decide, why did you buy that coin in the first place? Did you buy it because it was cheap? Did you buy it because you like the project and the team behind it? Or did you buy it because some random bloke with a beard and a bald head told you to buy it 6 months ago? Think about that. Bitcoin is the true hero of the year. It should very well be the true hero of the year. And then moving into next year, we should see a good alt season. But we haven't even started. That's what people have got to bear in mind. We haven't even really started with the alts. Some of them have done exceptionally well. Others are biding their time. Like I said, Matic at $1 is where it should be at this stage of the market. Solana at $200, for me, is way too far ahead of where it should be at this stage of the market. So this is a marathon. This is a 2-year marathon. And I think if you go off too quickly, you're not going to make it. And that's why some of these coins, which are where I think they should be, I think XRP is in a good position. I think it should be $1. I think Cardano is in a good position. It should be $1. Chainlink, a little bit high for my liking. Solana, a little bit high for my liking. But I'm going to be wrong, and I want to be wrong. I want to see $1,000 Solana. I want to see a $200 Chainlink. But what I want to see and what's going to happen are two different things. We all want to fly to the moon, but we're not all going to make it. So then, Floki. I'm trying to throw in some meme coins into this because it's just what we do. So Floki, as far as I'm aware, is listed on all major exchanges. Now, I covered this coin. I don't know when it was, maybe even May or June last year. I made a video about Floki. And it's one of those coins, when you look at a meme coin, you've kind of got to there's 2 or 3 different types of meme coins. There's absolute waste of time meme coins, which were thrown together in 5 minutes and fail. There's coins that were thrown together in 5 minutes that succeed. And trying to pick the difference between the two as a content creator is difficult because you're going to get some wrong. I got Pepe wrong, I got Bonk wrong, but I got others right because it's the community that pumps the coins up. Now, Floki doesn't fall into that category. Floki has a metaverse. Floki has a team. Floki has utility. Floki is now, in my opinion, a community coin, not a meme coin. But for the uninitiated, it's still classified as a meme coin. Now, it has a new roadmap. The price is pumped 8%. We are all very happy about that. I don't hold any Floki, by the way. I don't hold many meme coins. And the ones I hold, I tell you about. So at the minute, I think I've got a little bit of Bonk. I bought that Bohm when I told everybody to buy, well, I didn't tell you to buy Bohm. When I told you I was buying Bohm at 1 cent, 1.1 cents I bought it at. So I hold a little bit of Bohm. I've got some Ponk and I've got some Thornton, which I've made a video on, and I'm gonna give that away on an AMA or a video I make about it, whatever it's going to be. So I don't hold many meme coins. I'm not really into it. But there we go. It doesn't mean I shouldn't cover it. So the highlight of the roadmap was the availability of a digital bank account and debit cards. About 516 million worth of Floki tokens were staked at the time of press. Dog-themed token Floki Inu rose 8%. Not going to tell you what that price is. Lots of zeros, 2339. With the latest uptick, Floki's weekly chart looks better, with gains of 1.7%, having witnessed significant selling pressure in the first half. The surge came after Floki developers announced a roadmap aimed at boosting the real-world utility of the meme coin and establishing it as a serious crypto project. The highlight is the digital bank and debit cards. It would reportedly support transactions in USD, Euro, and GBP. The bank would also facilitate SWIFT payments. Floki added that users could fund the account using their holdings. This would not only give traditional banking exposure to a broader cohort of users, but also boost the demand for Floki. Now then, let's go down a little bit. So the tokens are staked. It's got a staking program. The staked amount equated to 26% of the total circulating supply. So then, for those of you that have not heard about Floki, as far as I'm aware, it is a Viking. Let me just go and double check. I haven't looked at Floki since I made the video. I believe it's a Viking dog with a metaverse attached to it. Valhalla, there we go. So Valhalla is the metaverse of Floki. It has, it's listed on TokenFi. You can stake it. What else do we have? NFTs, prepaid cards, and many other things. So Floki, again, let me be clear. In my opinion, this is no longer a meme coin. It has an ecosystem and a community. It's a community token, and it should be seen as a community token. This is a serious project now. This is the problem with meme coins. For a meme coin to have longevity, it needs to evolve from meme to community. Bonk has done that successfully. Shiba Inu has done that successfully. Floki has done that successfully. Other coins haven't. If you have a coin or a meme coin that is more than a year old and it hasn't built out or done anything, then why are you still holding it? Because these coins rally up and then rally down and then rally up and then rally down. Communities are built over a period of time, and that's where something like Floki comes in, because if you look at their price action, it was here. I can't even draw the chart, it was that low down. So this was February. This was the end of February. The price was way down here, and we've had this absolute surge. Now again, I am not going to call this a pump and dump, because this is the Loch Ness, by the way. This is the Loch Ness move, where it's coming out of the sea. This coin has done zero, but what it has done is build. And this period here is where the building of that project comes to light and comes to fruition, and it's announced. That's why roadmaps cause pumps. If you look at traditional businesses, when the CEO steps down, the price of that company drops. Then the new CEO comes along and says, right, our vision for this company is this and this and this. And over 2 years, we're going to cut the workforce by 15%. We're going to get to 15 pence per share earnings. We're going to target online transactions. We're going to do this. And he gives 7 or 8 salient reasons why the company is going to make more money. And guess what? The price rips. Well, in crypto, it's not so much the CEO that comes out, but the team behind the project come out and say, here's our roadmap. And when you look at the videos that we make, what do I always focus on? The team, the roadmap, the tokenomics. Every video I make, the same 3 things. If I don't know who the team are and it has no roadmap, I don't care about the tokenomics, because they can rug the project, they can run off with your money, and you will be rugged. So when a team is doxed, as in you know who they are, when they have a solid roadmap, which they can deliver on, remember, everybody can promise the moon and the stars. If they have a roadmap that can be delivered on, and the tokenomics don't mint this token into infinity, there's always a chance this project is going to be a success. And Floki has fallen into that category. And again, if we go and look very quickly, the last article isn't really that important, so we can spend a bit of time on this. So if we go to memes, I think Floki's now 3rd or 4th under memes. 5th. So Floki's got a $2.2 billion market cap. Very sizable compared to where it was when I looked at it. I don't even think it was, I think it might have been 200 or 300 million when I looked at it. So it's come a long way in that time. And it's up there. Now, Dogecoin, don't like it. SHIB, great community. Pepe, not looked at it for a long time. Dog with Hat, new token, needs to top out, needs to build out. Floki and Bonk, look at them. They are potentially long-term SHIB projects. SHIB's got a $16 billion market cap. Floki and Bonk have 2 and 1.5 billion. They coulda, woulda, shoulda attain the level of SHIB over time. Any of these meme coins that build out and build a community and build a metaverse, real life utility, even staking programs, all of these things give you a reason to have that coin. So Floki, I'm not saying buy the token, by the way, because it's run up an awfully long way. It could lose 50% of its market cap over the next 3 or 4 weeks. Then it could run up again. Very hard to tell what's going to happen. We've already got a little bit of a retracement on the coin. So it has come down and it is coming up. I mean, the token is likely to do something like this, I would imagine, and put in kind of higher highs and higher lows. That's possibly one thing it could do. But again, with everything, there's more speculation in meme coins than anything else. But I will say that when a meme coin gets to a $2-3 billion market cap, it doesn't tend to retrace 90%. It might retrace 50%, but it doesn't have all of the liquidity sucked out of it. You know, you look at Book of Meme. The video I made about Book of Meme, it was at $1.4 billion. It come out of nowhere, and I said, you've got to watch this. It's dangerous. It's going to retrace, and it has. It's lost half of its value. However, I think Book of Meme is going to have another run-up. Probably get somewhere near the market cap of Bonk again, and then we'll see where it goes, because it's a really new project. Dog with Hat isn't that old. So just bear in mind, not every meme coin is the same. Some of them community coins, some of them are older than others. Shiba Inu has more utility than many of these, which is why it has a larger market cap. But also remember, some of these meme coins, it's like a lottery. You could go down here and stick a pin in 3 of these coins and all 3 will fail. You could come down here, put a pin in 3 more of them, and 2 of them could 100x. So it's difficult to pick the winners. You can only go off which projects have got roadmaps and teams and all that kind of stuff, which is what I talk about. So just bear that in mind, especially when you want to put some of your cash in. Only put in 1% of your portfolio at most into meme coins. If you've got Bitcoin and Ethereum, you shouldn't be selling Bitcoin and Ethereum to buy a meme coin. If you've got $100 on the side and you don't know what to do with it and you want to have a bit of fun, then go and buy some SNEC, or go and buy some Miro, go and buy some Wen, go and buy some Slurf, Book of Meme, Bonk, Floki, fine, go and do that. But don't put your life savings into a meme coin. You might as well go down to the casino and put all of your money on red, and you'd have a better chance of winning than a meme coin. That being said, now then, the EU have brought out their new anti-money laundering legislation. What a lovely topic to cover at the end of a show. We've been talking about meme coins and Matic doing a 10x and ETH, and we're going to finish on the driest subject of all, which is anti-money laundering legislation. But I am not going to go through it in great depth because we've only got 4 or 5 minutes left on the show. What I am going to tell you is that this really isn't as bad as people are making out. What it is doing, it is telling regulated businesses that they have to make sure that they know where the money is coming from. So, if you go to buy a car and you send somebody 20,000 euros from your MetaMask wallet, that company that receives the money for the car has to prove the source of funds. It can't just go, thanks for the 20,000 euros, here's your car. So this law is catching up with existing law. If you went into a jeweler's in Barcelona or Rome or London with £50,000 in cash and you put that cash on the counter, if the jeweler is worth his salt, he'll refuse the money because you need to prove source of funds. Now, this only applies to MetaMask and Phantom and other Trust Wallet, for example. It only applies to them. If you've got your money on one of the exchanges, like you're watching us on now, then it doesn't apply to you because that's a regulated entity. And as a regulated entity, they have to have audits, they have to follow by the rules and the regulations. It's not as big a problem. This is to stop people sending 100,000 euros from a MetaMask wallet to an institution or a business who then accept it. It's to stop that. So there are limits. Cash payments of 10,000 euros or more. Anonymous cash transactions above 3,000 euros. It targets self-custody wallets on mobile, desktop or browser applications. The law is slated to take effect in 3 years. There are suggestions its implementation might be sooner. Now, again, I don't have a problem with this. The two things we want on this channel are, number 1, adoption. Number 2, regulation. Why do we want regulation? Regulation is the powers that be accepting crypto as a valid asset. That's why we need regulation. It's all well and good you having 100,000 Floki in you or 50,000 million bonk in an account, but if it's not regulated or it's not recognized by the authorities, we're never going to get anywhere in life. It's never going to happen. We need regulation, and regulation isn't a bad thing. Regulation is a good thing because it protects people. You've already got your crypto, you've already got your Bitcoin and your Ethereum, but your grandmother or grandfather or brothers and sisters who know nothing about crypto, they're going to walk into this blind and they're not going to have a clue what they're doing, and they're going to lose their money because they're going to buy it from some shyster out there that's going to sell them a coin that doesn't exist, and they're going to lose the money. What you have a responsibility to do is when they come to you and say, have you heard of Bitcoin? Your response should be, yes, there's 3 exchanges to go and buy it from. Do not buy it anywhere else. If they come to you and say, have you heard of Monkey Vela Milk coin? You say, yes, it's a terrible coin. Don't go near it. Go and buy Bitcoin. Your job is to stop them from getting ripped off. If they ask you about NFTs, if they ask you about meme coins or anything like that, it's your responsibility to guide your family and friends away from losing out. You've made mistakes, so the people that follow you don't have to. You're the people that have walked through that field and not blown anything up. You've walked through that minefield so they can follow your path. And the EU adopting the same kind of laws for crypto wallets that they have for cash is a good thing. Remember, regulation and adoption. Regulation comes from the EU, the UK. It comes from Asian financial authorities. It comes from African financial authorities. That's their job, and you should leave them to it. And if they mess up, you need to tell them where they've gone wrong, because again, you know more than they do. So the last thing you should do is just turn around and go, boo-hoo, you don't know what you're talking about. You should go to them and say, you don't know what you're talking about, because this is how it works in reality. So that's where regulation comes in. Adoption comes in from you helping your family not make the mistakes that you did. If you've ever been scammed or had one of your wallets drained, or sent your cryptocurrency using the wrong chain and it's disappeared and you've lost it forever, they are your mistakes, but they are also the mistakes you've made on behalf of the rest of your family or friends or work colleagues. And it's your job to be an ambassador for Bitcoin and Ethereum and the exchange that you're on, because you've gone through that bear market. You've lived the sleepless nights, the nights where you've thought, is Bitcoin going to zero? Have I lost all of my money? Is this the end of crypto? You've been there. Conversely, if Bitcoin does get to $200,000 or $300,000, not one single person out there has the right to call you lucky. You are not lucky. There is nothing lucky about what you've done. Yes, if you've picked the right meme coin and it's 10,000x, you were lucky. But not holding Bitcoin and Ethereum and BNB and Solana and Cardano. You were buying it at 20 cents when people were calling you an idiot. So the EU, much maligned as they are only introducing the same laws that they have for cash. So they are recognizing cryptocurrency in the same boat as cash. That's what we wanted. We wouldn't have had this 5 years ago. Look at how far we've come. We've now got EU regulations on crypto wallets. We've now got Bitcoin ETFs in America. We've now got presidents and future presidents of America talking about Bitcoin. We've got countries like El Salvador who've got Bitcoin as one of their sovereign currencies. You'd have called me barking mad if I'd have said this 8 years ago, 7 years ago. You'd have thought I was off my rocker. If I'd have said Bitcoin's going to $100,000 when it was at $3,000, you'd have called me crazy. So just bear in mind, regulations and legislation are not always a bad thing. They are, on the whole, meant to protect people. And we want to protect people because this is as dangerous as when the internet first started and the scams that started out on the internet. So just remember, you're an ambassador for crypto, not for me and Crypto Warehouse. You're an ambassador to crypto, and you should be the face of crypto. So don't laugh at somebody if they ask you a stupid question. Don't tell them to go and buy Flocky, Milka, Vola, Emu coins. Point them in the right direction. Give them the affiliate link from the exchange that you're watching us on. Help them do some transfers or buy their first crypto. And then just be aware that they're going to pester you every time it moves 1%. But that's human nature. And in the end, they'll understand it. And I think that's probably all I'm going to say today. I don't want to go on too long because it is 12:05. Big shout out to everybody that's saying hello in chat. Tap, hello. X9, hello. Vaf, hello. Who else is here? I'm trying to read. I can't read half of these names. Nurken, welcome to the show. Hang on a minute. There's a few others. I have gone off on one a little bit, so I'm going to call it quits. Right then. So don't forget, I am back tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Brogan is back at 9 or 8 p.m. tonight. Brogan has a live trading show tonight. We've got a really busy week. We have Monday to Saturdays, 11 a.m. live. Tonight, Brogan has a live trading show. Tomorrow night, we are reviewing a crypto project live at 7 o'clock. Wednesday at 7 o'clock, we have a live AMA with a company who help you with crypto regulations. So it's an education show for an hour on Wednesday night. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday nights, we have shows. Monday to Saturday at 11 o'clock, we have a show. So as far as I'm aware, that's 9 live shows this week, which I think is the most we've ever done. So by Saturday, we're going to be tired. Thanks, Mags, as well, for coming and, as always, showing support. It's greatly appreciated. That's it, really. I'm going to go. I've got a couple of videos to make, so I'm going to try and make some videos today. I've not made videos since Thursday, I don't think, or Wednesday. I've had a few days off making videos, which I need to get back into. So I'm going to make some videos. If you are watching, do me a favour, press the like and the follow button. That helps us more than anything. So follow us, like us, subscribe. We are on the usual places that you would find videos, so go and look for Crypto Warehouse over there. With all that being said, I will be back in the morning. Brogan will be back tonight, so check the calendar, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.